Hello, fellow Pops. I'm Dr. F Scott Feil, and I'm bringing you a message from our sponsor at Ice Shaker. My diet's always been a little bit messed up most of my life, and I recently started trying to take back control of my health. And one of the issues my doctor pointed out was that I needed to make an increase in my protein intake. Now, I can't eat chicken breasts all day, every day, so protein shakes and powders have become a big help. Ice Shaker and its built-in removable agitator is an amazing product. They come in a bunch of sizes and colors, and you can even get inscriptions and logos on them. They're stainless steel, double wall insulated, and hold ice for 30 plus hours. If you're interested in purchasing one, you can click on the link in our show notes. Or if you're interested in selling them for your business and making commission, and let's be honest, if you're listening to the Professors of Profit vlogcast and you can consider yourself a pop or a professor of profit, you're likely interested in selling these as a side hustle. You can click on that link in the show notes as well. Or you can reach out to me directly on social media. I'm pretty available there. I love Ice Shaker, and I'm betting you, your patients, and your clients will too. Ice Shaker, let's shake things up. Now let's start the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Professors of Profit vlogcast. I'm your host, Dr. F Scott Feil, and I've got with me longtime friend, Dave Townsend. Dave, thanks for coming on, man. Physical therapist, app owner. Let's talk about it, man. Tell us about your journey and how it's led you to where you are today.
Yeah, great. Good to see you as well. It's been quite a long time, and great to catch up with you. Um, I'm a private practice owner in Northern California. I have an outpatient physical therapy practice. We got 5 PTs and going strong. And my side hustle is the Switchback app, which turned into much more than a side hustle. And so actually at the present time, I'm at a little bit of a crossroads of deciding what that next step is, because doing two things full bore, full go is tough at the moment. And so so we're going to decide here in the next couple of months what the long-term plan of attack is. But everything's going great with that. We have about 100 physical therapist users across the country, and we've reached about 17,000 or more patients over the years of using it. So yeah, it's fun, it's exciting, it's something that I thought was a great idea at the time. Like, hey, let's see what happens. You know, there's got to be a better way to do home exercise programs. Let's do this. And then all of a sudden, it turned into a little different animal, and which is good, you know. But it comes with a lot more hustling than you say side hustle at the beginning. You're like, yeah, of course I can hustle, and then all of a sudden you're doing a whole lot different hustling than you thought to begin with. So
yeah, for sure. I love that story, man. I love that it's become so much more. And like you said, now you're at a pretty good problem to have, right? What do I do with it? Which direction do I head?
right.
So I love that. But tell us a little bit about the app. What does it do? What does it help? What problem
Yeah.
does it solve? Let us know about it.
Great. Yeah. So the app is basically super simple. It's just a easy, simple, quick way to be able to take videos while you're working with a patient. And the videos, once you take them in the app, it automatically gets downloaded onto their feed and to your feed. So you remember exactly what you gave them. They remember exactly what you told them. It's a video of them doing the exercise, you teaching them with the proper verbal cues and everything. And so it really cuts out all of the searching around for pre-canned exercises that you kind of want to tweak anyways. And it also cuts out, stick figures and all the rest. And so it was kind of just born out of frustration, really, of not only myself but my PTs. I'm like, man, like we're wasting time here. There's got to be a way to take the videos, and then you're grabbing the patient's phone, taking the videos that way. Once iPhones first came out, and that worked fine, but then it gets lost in their feed and everything. And so now they have just a separate feed. They just open the app. As soon as they open the app, all their videos are right there.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, tell us a little bit about the process of creating an app. Why should somebody who's interested in maybe a side gig or a side hustle or a business on the side or something, why should they consider an app? What does that look like, that process?
Yeah, so I feel like there's kind of two ways to look at it. There's an app where it's like a tool, and like a goniometer app, or something like a one-time purchase type of app. um that's that, and that has its own business model that I think is a lot simpler, because it's more like, oh, it's 199 in the app store, and then you just put it up, and then however many you sell. And then you have an app like we did, which is more of a platform. So it's a platform in the sense that they can they can get their videos, and the PT can get their videos on a dashboard in the browser, like on a computer. And the app is just one of the tools. And so it's like you're building a business, a subscription based business. So in the space, it's called software as a service, SaaS. And so if people want to learn more about that, just look up like micro SaaS, SaaS, and there's tons of great ways to sort of map out what a journey might look like. And so the why somebody would do it, I think, is it should be the passion of like trying to solve something. If you have a little pain point yourself, and then going to people and interviewing people, talk to people. With social media now too, is just like find your customers first and make sure that you're solving a problem that people will pay money for. And then you open the can of worms and hold on tight for the ride.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, man. You had a problem and an issue that you wanted solved, and you basically just said, the heck with it. I'm going to figure it out myself.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And I think too, the market research is super important, of like really flushing out, like talking to everybody, turn over every stone, and make sure that it doesn't exist. And if it does exist, then you can improve upon it, right? So that would be a reason to do it too. And then making sure that there are enough people that share that same frustration that would actually pay money for it.
Yeah. So build a better mousetrap. That's an option.
Yeah. Yep.
And then go to your audience, poll your audience, make sure that that's what they need, right? We see that a lot in course creation.
Yeah.
People build the course and then bring it out to the audience, and the audience didn't want it.
Exactly. I think actually that's a really good point. And I would point people toward Ash Mayura, and he wrote a book called Scaling Lean. And he also has what's called a lean canvas. And it's a modern business model that's not too dissimilar to that whole course idea, where it's a product. So you're making a physical product or software product, but like don't like build it and they will come. Build the process of learning what people want. And so then when you come out the other side and you actually have it there and ready to go. And I would say for us, we did a fair job of that, but we could have done even better at the beginning of, because I think I was probably as guilty as anybody of like, oh yeah, like let's just build it, and then all of a sudden everybody's gonna want it. It's like, nah, it didn't really happen that way. And so that would be my encouragement for people to use the lean stack as a way of it's like a one-page business plan that's like solution, what your value proposition is, and etc. Yeah.
I love it, man. Well, what can you tell our audience? What can you educate them on, as far as if they were looking for help, if they want to get started in an app, they want to come up with it, they think they have an idea for an app, what are some tips or tricks or pointers you learned along the way?
Yeah, I would say the first one is just clearly defining the problem, obviously, and then the the nuts and bolts of actually creating the app or creating the software, I think there's kind of two ways to go. And one would be to use a firm that specializes in that. So they have like a team of people. That's what we used, an overseas company. And the reason that it worked is because we had somebody that spoke the native language here in Santa Rosa physically. And so he was the project manager. He spoke English and he was great. And so I met face to face with him. And then he was the liaison to make that happen. So they built a really awesome like first version, but that is not often the case. If you just go online to some of these app firms, if you don't have a really solid relationship with the project manager, it can be tough and you could lose a lot of money and a lot of time. So there's that. And then the other version, which would be to find someone like in the United States that would want to be like a co-founder. And so like a technical co-founder is what happens a lot of times. You have somebody with the idea and then you have somebody that can actually build it. So it's like one person, they have the skills to do it and you guys work together to make that happen. So I've seen that work as well. But I think it's the community. Don't get like the translation of like your idea to like an actual thing that looks like what you want it to do and feels like what you want it to do and has all the functionalities is a whole different story.
Yeah, I love that take on it, man.
Yeah.
I could see losing a lot of time and money for sure if you don't do it right.
I've heard absolute horror stories of that stuff happening. Just because like that world of actually being able to do the actual computer programming of it is it's a whole different world, and they see the world in a different way, whereas we think it's just magic, like, oh, like make it do this. And then it's like, you gotta, there's quite a few steps in between. You got to really spell out exactly what you want. And I actually don't know a whole lot about the current status of like some of the pre-made apps, but I've definitely heard that there are some tools nowadays where there's like pre-made aspects of it where you can, I believe, for some simple things you can build your own apps depending on the complexity of it.
Right. Yeah,
I think that's come a long way, like in the last 3 years.
Yeah, not very technical here, so I think I'd be seeking out some help for that.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, it's been a pleasure chatting with you, catching up. I appreciate all your input. Where can people find you if they want to check out the app or learn more about what you're up to and what you ended up deciding doing with the app down the line?
Yeah. So you can check out the app at switchbackhealth.com. And for any the PTs out there that are practicing, you can just sign up there for a 30-day trial and give it a go. And you can reach out to me, probably honestly by email is the best. I'm on social media, but to be quite honest, I'm not super active in that way, but I do, Facebook Messenger, all that good stuff. And on Instagram, you can direct message me. It's Dave Townsend PT. And my email address is dave@switchbackhealth.com. And I'd be glad to field emails if you guys had any questions. And we could even exchange phone numbers and stuff if a phone call would be warranted. I'd be more than happy to do that.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll put all those links in the show notes so people can easily find you. Dave, like I said, man, been a pleasure catching up. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me on, and good luck to any of the listeners that are gonna take a dive into the app world. It's pretty fun. You'll learn a lot about yourself and about the tech world.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much. Been a pleasure.
Okay.